Hi guys, so I was asked this question the other day via email from Mike, and he was wondering if you can gain muscle and lose fat at the same time. So as I mentioned in my email blog this morning, unfortunately, as is the way with a lot of these things, it just depends. So someone who is perhaps a more overweight beginner, or I should say like over fat, they might be able to lose fat and gain muscle at the same time. This is because they are at a relatively lower starting point. So compared to someone who's perhaps a bit more advanced, this beginner who is over fat might be able to gain muscle a lot more easily. And because he's in an over fat state, also find it easier to lose that body fat as well. So let's then compare it to someone who's more advanced, who's perhaps carrying a lot more muscle and is a lot more lean than our hypothetical beginner. They might find it very difficult to do both at the same time. So they're more at their current limit to be able to gain muscle. So therefore, because they've got that lessened scope to be able to actually gain more muscle, they're going to find it a hell of a lot harder to do both at the same time. So if I were to simplify that a little bit more and give a bit more of a general recommendation on it, I recommend to perhaps have certain phases of your training where if you're looking to try and gain muscle with minimal fat gain, to try and have a period of your training where you look to be in a slightly more moderate calorie surplus to try and gain some muscle but to try and limit fat. So you're perhaps looking at no more than gaining a quarter to half a kilo per week. Then following it up with a cutting phase where you're in a little bit more of a moderate calorie deficit this time. So instead of looking to try and do like a massive 1,000 calorie deficit where you're at risk of perhaps losing a little bit more muscle tissue, you could perhaps look into giving yourself a bit more of a calorie deficit where, again, on the flip side of the gaining phase, you're looking to lose a quarter to half a kilo per week instead. So to wrap it up, if you're looking to lose fat and gain muscle at the same time, look to split it up into two separate phases rather than trying to do both at the same time.